Hey everyone, welcome to another BTM screencast. Today we're going over Chapter 2, Power Tools. So after completing this chapter, you should be able to do the following. Identify and describe common power tools used by a plumber. Identify which drill or saw is used relevant to the work location. Identify which drill bit or saw blade is used relevant to a system installation. Use power tools in a safe and appropriate manner. And know the proper personal protection equipment required for power tools. So the use of power tools elevates the risk of serious injury. We've covered this multiple times in class. And safe use of power tools requires attention to the location where the tool is being used and preparation for unexpected occurrences. When working with electrical power tools, the following safety precautions should be observed. Extension cords should never be routed through puddles of water or snow. If climate conditions such as rain or snow are present, do not begin or continue work in that area. Keep your electrical power tools dry. If any power tool is exposed to wet conditions, have it inspected by proper authorities before using it again. Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA, requires a GFCI for every connection of a power tool source. And here's an example of one that you'll see. When working with ladders, the following safety precautions should be observed. Step ladders are only intended for interior work. Never climb a ladder with muddy work shoes. That creates a slipping hazard. Never place a ladder on unstable or wet ground. All ladders have a maximum weight limit, so before you climb it, take into consideration the weight of the materials and the tools that you're going to be carrying up the ladder. And it's important to note for your step ladders, the most common sizes are 6 feet and 8 feet. Never stand on the top step of a stepladder. They all say it, so don't do it. An extension ladder must be set up with the top of the ladder at least 3 feet above the point where the ladder contacts the roof edge. Now, this is an OSHA requirement, and a lot of times what you'll see, people will put the ladder 3 rungs above. That's usually about 3 feet, if not more. So that's a safe bet. The angle of the ladder in relation to the ground is important to ensure a safe climb. To ensure a safe angle, the bottom of the ladder should be placed out a distance approximately 1/4 the length of the extended ladder. So if we had this set up, let's say we had a wall here and we were going to climb over the wall, and let's say that this is 8 feet tall. And we want to place our ladder up above that wall. Of course, we know that this is supposed to be 3 feet right here. This distance here should be 1/4 of the height. And in this case, 1/4 of 8 feet is 2 feet. So again, the ratio that we're looking for is 1 foot out for every 4 feet up. When you're working at a height of 6 feet or more above the ground, OSHA dictates that you must use fall protection methods. The most common method is a body harness and a securing lanyard, which we both have in the lab. So here's an example of your lanyard. The lanyard with a shock absorber. So the lanyard with the shock absorber, you can see when these are used, because it's material that looks like a bungee cord and it's all bunched up. And what happens is, if you do fall, this slows your fall, and this part that's all bunched up ends up turning straight. Then we have the body belt, an anchor, lifeline, and of course the rope grab and the harness here. So what we'll use in the lab if you get up to that point is the harness with the lanyard and the shock absorber. Ear protection is necessary to prevent injury caused by loud power tools. They can use either earplugs or earmuffs, and its application, it depends. Earmuffs provide the best protection when working with jackhammer or other especially loud tools. Earmuffs work much better with concussive noise, so noise that's loud, that thuds, that's sudden. Earplugs work better with a constant whirring noise, like a high-pitched whir of a machine, or if you're using like a circular saw or anything like that. A drill is essentially an electric motor. It's housed within a tool, and it's manually activated to rotate an internal shaft connected to a drill bit chuck, which then rotates a drill bit. When working with drills, the following safety precautions should be observed. The drill should be held close to your body. Do not extend your arms too far away from your body. Again, this goes back to safe tool handling procedures. Never position your body so that it can be easily trapped if the drill should encounter an obstruction. Know how the drill will react if it encounters an obstruction. And always notify a supervisor of your inexperience with a specific tool or when you're uncomfortable drilling in a certain workplace. A right angle drill has its chuck placed at a 90-degree angle or right angle to the body of the tool. Most right angle drills allow the user to rotate the placement of the chuck 360 degrees to adjust to any workspace. And what you'll see on most drills is you'll have a handle here, and sometimes on other ones, which we'll go over, you have a handle here. So it's pretty common to have a side handle or a top handle on a drill. Pistol drill, which many of you have, I'm sure, seen, is typically not used to drill large diameter holes because of its small body size. They're widely used by plumbers to install wood blocks for supporting pipes or fixtures and drill small diameter holes through steel or thin materials. And here we have a pistol drill, and again, we could see that we have a side handle here. On these pistol drills, the most common sizes that you'll see will be 1/2 inch and 3/8. The 1/2 inch are more popular. They're more powerful than what the 3/8 are. And what it means by 1/2 inch and 3/8, that's the diameter of the bit that it could take. So the 1/2 inch drill, it could take the diameter of up to a 1/2 inch, and a 3/8 inch drill up to 3/8 of an inch. The hole hog is another type of right angle drill. It has a fixed drill truck position tucked further into its body design than other drills for drilling in small spaces. And here we have the hole hog, and here you can see that there's a handle at the top, and there's also a handle at the side. Hammer drills are designed to drill through concrete. It rotates as it hammers, acting like a spinning chisel. And here we have an example, and again, has a handle off to the side. And this guy has that one on the bottom. And this here, this is a depth gauge. If you want to drill a hole in concrete to a specific depth. And the one that we have in lab, it has a vacuum attached to it, and it's battery operated, so you don't need to worry about making dust. and that doesn't erase. The most common drill bits used in residential plumbing industry are the twist bit. The twist bits are primarily for metal, but they can also drill in wood, plastic, and fiberglass. So these do metal, as well as wood, plastic, and fiberglass. And if you think of what a drill bit looks like, this is probably the one that you're thinking about. Auger bits, we cover those in carpentry. The most common sizes in plumbing range from 3/4 of an inch to 1.25 inches. The power bore bits, these are the most common in residential plumbing, and they're made specifically for wood. The most common sizes for the power bore bits are 1.125 inches, 2 inch, 2 9/16 of an inch, and 3 5/8 of an inch. Again, these are really popular in plumbing and specifically for wood. When working with power saws, the following safety precautions should be observed. Always wear PPE, and again here, that's muffs, proper uniform, safety glasses. Always inspect your work area for water or other dangerous conditions such as debris, sawdust, grease, oil, anything like that. And always remain aware of other people working around you. A reciprocating saw operates in a piston-like motion by thrusting a saw blade forward and backward in a sawing motion. They're often called sawzalls. It has a thrust shoe that must remain in contact with the product being cut to ensure a smooth cutting operation. And of course, here's the shoe that they're referring to. And this needs to be placed against whatever object that you're cutting. If it doesn't, the whole sawzall is just going to bounce uncontrollably and it can result in injury. A plumber commonly uses a circular saw to cut wood boards for pipe supports or plywood used for strengthening floor joists that have been drilled when required by code. And here's a battery-operated circular saw. A saber saw is primarily used by plumbers to cut holes in countertops to install sinks. They're capable of completing circular cuts and has a reciprocating cutting action with very short strokes. And this is very similar to the one that we have in lab. A portable bandsaw, also known as a portaband, it's designed for cutting metal, and it must be used with extreme caution because it can easily amputate a finger. These things are no joke. They're usually worm gear driven, and if you're not careful and your finger does get caught in here, this thing won't skip a beat. It's going to cut right through it. It's not going to stop. It doesn't care if it's your finger. It doesn't care if it's wood. It doesn't care if it's a piece of steel stock. It doesn't matter. This thing will just keep going. Portable grinders are more common in the pipe fitting trade. The two most common types relate to the diameter of the abrasive wheel and are 4.5 inch and 7 inch. The maximum operating speed of a grinding wheel must be compatible with the grinder being operated. You don't want a grinder that is able to spin faster. That was a really long bell. You don't want a grinder that's able to spin faster than what your grinding wheel can take. If you do that, there is a chance that your grinding wheel will blow apart and cause injury. The 4.5-inch grinder is used for working with small diameter piping or in confined work areas. The 7-inch grinder is used for working with large diameter piping or removing large quantities of material. And here's a picture of what they look like. Powder actuated tools use an explosive charge to drive an anchor into concrete and into steel. Operation is similar to that of a handgun. The anchor is forced out of the tool like a bullet when the trigger is activated. And here's an example of what one looks like. We won't be using these, but it's nice to be familiar with them. Air compressors are used to pressure test water piping systems. Most codes dictate that the pressure test must be at least 100 pounds per square inch. And there's various types of air compressors. And here's a portable one. Jackhammers use a chipping hammer or jackhammer to remove concrete. For removing small amounts of concrete from around existing piping, use a chipping hammer. Now, this chipping hammer, this could just be a chipping bit that gets put on a hammer drill. Hammer drills have the option to drill, the hammer drill, or just a hammer. And you can put a chipping bit in with the hammer selection and use it as a chipping gun. When large areas of concrete must be removed, a jackhammer is required. And this is an electric jackhammer. Some people like them, some people don't. They cut down on some of the noise. The pneumatic ones, the toe behind air compressors, are much more powerful. In summary, power tools must be used only by trained personnel. Serious injury can result from misuse of power tools. Personal protection equipment must be worn during power tool use. Using power tools while on a ladder can create unsafe working conditions. A body harness may be required when working from a ladder and is almost always required when working from a scaffold. GFCI must be used with all power tools. Most drill bits and saw blades have specific uses. Various drill types are used for certain work areas, and many drill bits must be sharpened periodically. That's it, and see you next time.